Hello everyone, this is a review on the Innovator X by Grace Digital. You can see it right here. It's a relatively compact internet radio that actually provides good sound and nice functionality. So you can see in terms of overall size, it's a little bit bigger than my hand, probably about the size of two hands. So it works well, and actually right now I'm about 50 feet or so away from my Wi-Fi signal. So it actually has good range on it. So you can see right here, buffers quickly, and it's plenty of sound, as you can see right off the bat. So you can see it working, and again, you get lots of options, which we'll go over next. Okay, we're gonna go over a few of the options here on the Innovator X. So again, we're 50 feet away with pretty good range. So I go to home, and then we'll hit internet radio. So right off the bat, you can see that you can select it from iHeartRadio, Sirius, XM, Live 365, Rhapsody, and so you've got plenty of options to do it. Now, what I like about it is it's actually pretty easy to set up. I'll show you some other radios that I've used in the past that, in my opinion, aren't quite as easy to use as the Innovator X, which is, to me, pretty nice because you don't. If somebody comes to visit you, they don't spend a lot of time in showing them how to use your internet radio. They can just push on and then use one of the presets here and find music that works for them. So right there, you saw it has Pandora. It has Pandora, of course, Rhapsody, and then on top of that, really any of the internet radio stations that you would like. So very straightforward. Now, I compare the Innovator X from Grace Digital Audio to a couple other internet radios. The one that we've used most recently is the Philips Streamium, as you can see right here, which is a very good internet radio. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's also pretty easy to use too. It has a little bit nicer display, and it has actually probably a little bit better sound. But it is, again, considerably more expensive. So if you're looking for a kind of a maybe fuller feature radio, it's definitely a step up. Another one I've used in the past, but you don't see it on my counter, because it kind of lost the battle against the Philips Streamium, is the Logitech Squeezebox Boom. Fantastic sound in the Squeezebox Boom, not so easy to set up and use. Definitely much more difficult than the Innovator X or the Philips. So in my opinion, actually the Innovator X by Grace Digital is the easiest to use, which from my standpoint, and my primary user in our house is my wife, and she likes something that's easy to use, something you could turn on, go through a couple radio stations just like you would in your car, and not have to spend a lot of time trying to learn how to use it and set it up. And the Innovator X is actually perfect for that. Okay, looking at the back of the speaker, now this is a little dark, of course. You've got an auxiliary input, you've got a port, and then you've got a power plug. So there are other things that are missing here. You're not looking for, you don't have the option for an Ethernet cable. This is strictly works wirelessly, so keep that in mind, and if you have to have a plugged-in connection, this probably isn't the right device for you. Okay, I mentioned it a little earlier, but let me go over it a little bit better. In terms of inputs, you've got 10 audio inputs, 1 and 6, 2 and 7, and so forth. So how is it 2 and 7? Well, there's a shift button here, just like you'd find on a calculator. You push it, and then it takes you to the second number instead of the first. Again, pretty straightforward, easy to learn, easy to use. Next, you have a remote control. Nothing too elaborate about it. You do have your presets on it. You have, if you're using Pandora, a plus or minus, and you can kind of navigate through it. Pretty basic, pretty small, but it really does kind of do the job. So it does have a remote. Final verdict on the Innovator X by Grace Digital. I'm going to give it 4.5 stars. For this price point, it does a very good job. It does a lot of things that you would want it to do. You can get better sounding internet radios. Grace Digital, in fact, offers better sounding internet radios. But at this price point, it's pretty tough to beat. It's easy to use, easy to learn. And again, it's something you can stick on your countertop, and anyone who comes and visits you can figure out how to use it in a matter of a few minutes. So that is something that is pretty attractive to us. So for this price point, it does well. And again, right now I'm about 50 feet or more from my wireless router, and I've not had any issues at all in terms of it dropping signal or having to buffer. So I'm pretty impressed with the wireless range. So I'm going to give it 4.5 stars.